Okay, so here we go. Straight question we are asking. And before we start the show, I'm joined by almost a full house. I've got Ishan, Vaibhav, Gargi, Shomik, Trisha. Trisha, welcome back from the US. Had a good, refreshing break, covered the US elections, and now back. We've got our full house to ask the question that if Pakistan was laying claim on the hybrid model concept of the Champions Trophy, and we will show you the video of Najam Sethi from exactly 1 year back. Why is it that Pakistan is now taking a distance from it? Is this a case of hypocrisy? Is this a case of politicization? Is this a case of what? Once again, this will be a rational debate where we will ask all the questions. Let's set it up. Gargi, do you have the Najam Sethi video? Can you play it, please?
आज मैं आपके लिए बहुत बड़ी खुशखबरी लाया हूँ। एशिया कप पाकिस्तान आ रहा है सितंबर में। यही हमारा वादा था और आज हमने अपना वादा निभाया है। याद रहे कि ये हाइब्रिड मॉडल एक नया पेशकदमी है। इसके साथ और भी दरवाजे आगे खुल सकते हैं। पुराने मसाइल जो हैं उनका हल है।
So exact words, ये हाइब्रिड मॉडल एक नई पेशकश है, इसके साथ और भी दरवाजे खुल सकते हैं. Najam Sethi, head of PCB, 1 year back. Gargi, do you have the press release? If you could just put out the press release on screen as well, if you have that. Otherwise, you can get that ready. You can get that ready, and we will take initial questions from my guests and start taking questions, and we will go to that. But the press release she can get ready. I will, in the interim, read out a part from the press release, and I will go to all my guests taking turns. But just can you play the Najam Sethi video one more time so that everybody gets to hear what he said, and cut it out where he said we need that part. Just play that part.
आज मैं आपके लिए बहुत बड़ी खुशखबरी लाया हूँ। एशिया कप पाकिस्तान आ रहा है सितंबर में। यही हमारा वादा था और आज हमने अपना वादा निभाया है। याद रहे कि ये हाइब्रिड मॉडल एक नया पेशकदमी है। इसके साथ और भी दरवाजे आगे खुल सकते हैं।
So all of us heard it loud and clear from Najam Sethi. ये हाइब्रिड मॉडल एक नई पेशकश है, इसके साथ और भी दरवाजे खुल सकते हैं. Now I will read out his quote from the press release that was issued by the PCB on 15th of June 2023. Najam Sethi, I am elated that listen carefully, I am elated that our hybrid version for the ACC Asia Cup, our hybrid version, Pakistan is laying claim to the hybrid version of the Asia Cup, has been accepted. This means the PCB will remain as the event host, etc. Then he goes on. Our passionate fans would have loved to see India, but we understand the BCCI's position. Najam Sethi, we understand the BCCI's position. Like the PCB, the BCCI also requires government approval and clearance before crossing borders. In this background, the hybrid model was the best solution, and that's precisely why I advocated for it so strongly. End of quote. Najam Sethi. Shomik Chakraborty, before I go to Trisha and the rest, what do you make of this? Why is it that 12 months down the line, the stand has changed? BCCI stand has not changed. Nothing in the world has changed except that an Indian is about to become the chairman of ICC. Shomik Chakraborty.
Pakistan stand will not change also going ahead. What we have been witnessing at the moment is a lot of posturing. What Nazim Sethi said a year ago, I believe we are going to see an action replay, and this time Mohsin Naqvi will reiterate those words. Eventually, they will have to accept a hybrid model. India, very likely India's matches would be played in Dubai, and PCB will say our version of the hybrid model has been accepted by the ICC. What my understanding, what I have been making a few calls in Pakistan, and what my understanding is that even a section of their politicians, high profile politicians, there is a division. I mean, a section is putting their foot down, saying, no, no, Pakistan cannot lose prestige. But there is a there are some pragmatic voices as well who are saying that Pakistan cannot afford to lose ISIS's revenue. It is not it doesn't have the financial might of the BCCI or even England and Wales Cricket Board and Cricket Australia. A lot of things in Pakistan cricket depend on the ICC revenue, so it cannot take on the ICC. So I think a month or a month and a half down the line, we would listen to Mohsin Naqvi saying the same thing, that ICC has accepted our version of the ICC model.
Okay,
By
so
the way,
Trisha, Shomik is
by,
saying,
by,
look at this, look
by
at
the way,
this. This is the
just
Shomik, 1 minute. This is the press release. Najam Sethi, chair of the PCB management committee, thanked the Asian Cricket Council for accepting his hybrid model for the Asia Cup 2023. So this is exactly 1 year back, and then the Najam Sethi quote, which we read out. I am elated that our hybrid version for the ACC Asia Cup has been accepted. Thanks, Gargi, for putting this out. Trisha, your thoughts. So why is this change in stance? Clearly, 1 year back, you claimed that this is your hybrid model, your innovation. This is the way forward. BCCI stand hasn't changed. So why are you changing your stance in Pakistan and playing hardball? Is it to clear the pitch for Jai Shah? Is it to clear the pitch for India? Had there been a Pakistani ICC chairman coming on the 1st of December, would PCB have taken the same stance? Is this hypocrisy, Trisha Ghoshal?
Yes, absolutely. It's absolute hypocrisy, and that's pretty clear because if once you've accepted a hybrid model and you clearly know that India is never going to travel to Pakistan, and it does not even depend on the Indian cricket team. It's not like tomorrow Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli can go up and tell BCCI, look, we want to travel. And BCCI will tell the Indian government. It's a whole government's decision, and it is much bigger than cricket. So the issue that the reason that India is not traveling, we have discussed this over and over again, is way beyond and way more important than cricket. So we were not traveling, that part is not there. So suddenly Pakistan has decided to play hard, and we are not going to go with the hybrid model. What are they expecting and what are they going to achieve with it? They can probably put Jaisha under pressure, but again, I don't think it's actually funny that Pakistan is trying this technique, because I also agree with Shamik. I mean, what exactly is the route that Pakistan expects that will happen? Will Champions Trophy happen without India? I don't think that's going to happen. Whether it's Jaisha in the helm, or I don't know, maybe a Pakistan, someone from Pakistan, if they were in ICC, maybe, but I don't think the kind of power that BCCI has in ICC, the revenue that BCCI, of course, the revenue share part also BCCI is there. So I don't see a Champions Trophy not happening without India. So the only other thing is hybrid model. Absolutely. I mean, there's no qualms about it. It's just that Pakistan is trying to maybe get some more views, more audience, trying to
Okay,
make it a controversial Champions Trophy.
taking from Trisha Gargi, is it also an opportunity for Pakistan to try and push ICC saying, give us more money? Is it a bargaining chip? Is it that? Because what Shomik said, that 1 month later or 1.5 months later, Mohsin Naqvi will come and say the same. That's what he assumes, that he will say this is our hybrid model. There'll be a further innovation on the hybrid model, saying, okay, we've hosted many more games in Pakistan, except maybe the India games. Do you see further innovation on the hybrid model, Gargi Rao, eventually leading to its acceptance? Your thought?
I think PCB will have no other option but to accept the hybrid model at this point. They can't afford to let go of the hosting rights. I know they're trying to, trying to threaten that we won't host the tournament and pose more problems for the ICC. But I don't think that is something that's going to happen. PCB will want to host this tournament. It doesn't matter if India is there or not, but this is an opportunity PCB will not want to let go of. Second, it's clear that nobody in the PCB is on the same page. Because right now, when I think about it, it seems like Najam Sethi understood, even though he took credit for that, took credit for the hybrid model, but it seems like somewhere Najam Sethi understood that this is the way forward and there's no other option. But right now, Naqvi seems to be on a different scale of thinking, where he thinks that he can convince India, he can convince BCCI to come to Pakistan and play. And clearly, it's just all too complicated. No one's on the same page. Now PCB is saying that we weren't formally communicated about this and all of that. What do they mean? What do they want? I don't understand.
Okay,
What?
Ishan, is this posturing? I mean, for how long can you posture? Because if you have to host the tournament in Pakistan, at least most of the games, you need preparation time. You've spent money on the tournament infrastructure and all of that. Tell me something. I mean, clearly this is a PCB release. They might say Najam Sethi was a different political party, this, that, whatnot. We moved away. All that this is a PCB stand. You were claiming, and this happened with me. I was walking back from the Oval to my hotel when we had broke. By the way, this was our story. The hybrid model was Rev Sport story. And I was called and told, you have broken the hybrid model story. I said, yes. Why are you not giving credit to Najam Sethi? And I'm like, boss, hello? This is an ACC model. He said, no, this is Najam Sethi's model. I said, okay. So clearly, I was told by a senior PCB functionary that this is not ACC's model, this is Najam Sethi's model. Give him credit. Now, clearly, and the press release is evidence that you are claiming credit. 12 months, 14 months down the line, you have moved away entirely from the hybrid model, saying, no, this is no longer relevant to us. Why? Is this only to put political pressure on Jay and India, or why are you trying to do this? And do you at all think this can work? Because from the Indian standpoint, India will put its foot down saying, hello, the government had said don't go, finished. We will not budge. And the moment the Indian government says don't go, which they have, story ends as far as India is concerned. Let the ICC do what it wants. Eventually, they will not even have board, the number of votes in the ICC. India controls the purse. India controls the economy of the ICC. How does this whole hardball work, Ishan Shane, before I ask Vaibhav?
Burada, to be honest, this is extremely, I mean, even it's shocking in a way, because you, at one stage, 12 months back, you back yourself and say this is our model. And then when the time comes to possibly, delve into a hybrid model, you suddenly put your hands up and say that, this is not happening. So first of all, this is ethically wrong. If you have owned up to something in the past, you should be doing that in the future as well. So Pakistan clearly have no idea what they're doing themselves, to be honest. I mean, it's funny, all of us are trying to find our solutions, but I'm pretty sure in Pakistan themselves at the situation don't know what to do. Because like we've discussed in the show yesterday, there's no way India is going to travel. There's no way India is going to travel to Pakistan at the moment. So the only option at the moment is the hybrid model. And if 12 months back, you've gone and told the audience that this is a model that we have developed, this is our concept, then stick to it. Why can't you stick to it? Why is this such a big issue at the moment? Just because you want to create further controversies with India, just because Jai Shah is coming into the picture right now, that's not the way it's supposed to be. There's a larger picture over here that we all should be focusing on, which is the Champions Trophy, which is playing cricket. Why can't we just stick to doing that? Why are we creating issues like it's always been, which has always been happening since so many years? So at the moment, in my opinion, Boryada, Pakistan themselves don't know what they have to do. The hybrid model is the only way forward because it's just unsafe, in my opinion, for the Indian people to travel. And I hope that South Africa comes up as an option, because that is the only option at the moment. Because you don't want to be playing in a country which is, first of all, unsafe, and a country which doesn't know what they're doing themselves.
Vaibhav, 2-3 things. One, why did you play the Asia Cup? Did the BCCI ever give you an assurance that if you come to our country for World Cup 23, we will go for Champions Trophy 25? I don't think the BCCI has ever said that. The BCCI is not even in a position to say that, right? Ultimately, it's a government call. So no BCCI functionary can ever tell Pakistan कि भाई हम आएंगे. You don't even have the right to. Today, however powerful anybody can be in the board, this is a government of India call. So what has changed? Asia Cup you did on a hybrid model. After that you came to India. You came to India. Had you said, no, we don't want to come and we will not go, the PCB is citing security, the ICC could have dealt with it. What has changed on ground? India's stand has not changed. At no point did India say we will go. So why is it that all of a sudden this whole hardball, Vaibhav?
See, first we need to understand the series of events. Like last year, Asia Cup, Najam Sethi took this decision of introducing the hybrid model and having this Sri Lanka, giving the Sri Lanka hosting rights, co-hosting rights. But then Zaka Ashraf took over, and Zaka Ashraf clearly said on record that he was not in the favor of having this hybrid model. He wanted Pakistan to be hosting the Champions Trophy fully. Now Mohsin Naqvi is there, and Mohsin Naqvi is one of the ministers in the current Pakistani government. So we need to understand that this is Mohsin Naqvi playing the ego game. It's a more of an ego battle. They are saying that, see, whatever Najam Sethi has done or Zaka Ashraf has done is past. Mohsin Naqvi has made his stance very clear that, okay, if Indian government is not changing their stance, which like we have been very constant, like we have not changed our stance for years now, 5-6 years. They came in 2016 with the hope that maybe some bilateral series will be played in Pakistan or India. Maybe the bilateral series will start. They came last year in the World Cup. Najam Sethi he was very optimistic that if we have this hybrid model for the Asia Cup, and if we will be sending like this current Pakistani government, they allowed the Pakistani team to travel to India for the 2023 World Cup. So they were very optimistic that we are going to have the Champions Trophy next year. So maybe there are.
Where is this optimism coming from?
I don't know. I don't know.
2016 you have come, 2024, 23 you have come. You have always come. Where is this optimism coming? If I come to your country, you will come. India has not changed its stance, Weber.
That is the thing, that India has never changed its stance. BCCI has never changed its stance. They have always said that India's arrival to Pakistan is not in our hands. Like even Surya Kumar Yadav 2-3 days back, he said it's not in our hands. BCCI keep on saying it's not in our hands. It's in government's hands. So we have not changed our stance. It's BCB, things always change in PCB. Top management, the chairman keeps on changing. First it was Najam Sethi, then it was Zaka Ashraf, now it is Mohsin Naqvi. Maybe someone will take over in the next few months, but things keep on changing in Pakistan. They never take a clear stance. Now Mohsin Naqvi is saying that we are not going to negotiate with India as far as hybrid model is concerned. But who knows? They have to do it. Like we all have been saying, they don't have any other options. They have to accept the hybrid model at the end, because like Ishan said, like Champions Trophy without India is something you cannot imagine. You cannot imagine, to be honest. And what PCB is saying, like in 2009, if I'm not wrong, Zimbabwe didn't travel to England. They didn't travel to England, and Scotland replaced Zimbabwe in that tournament. Similarly, in 2022, New Zealand didn't travel to South Africa. I think South Africa or whoever was the host for the 2022 Under-19 World Cup. So New Zealand team didn't travel, and they were replaced by Scotland. So now Pakistan, what PCB is saying, that if India is not coming, replace India with some other country, be it West Indies or Sri Lanka. So this is now their new.
It is a good idea that replace so and so. Bhai, you have to be practical. No, ultimately it is my money that runs this tournament. It is Indian money that runs this tournament. If you are so far removed from reality and live in an utopia, remove India, the broadcaster will say, we will not tell you. Will it be YouTube streamed by the Pakistani YouTubers? Because you don't even have the money. ICC will not even be in a position. 80% of the revenue comes from here. Without India. See, cricket is a unique sport. Unlike football, unlike Olympics, unlike any other sport, where the monetary distribution is among various other countries. This is a sport where 80% of the money comes from the Indian subcontinent. That is why you see Australian newspapers publishing Punjabi and Hindi. Tell me why. Because Australia wants Indian money. Why are they plastering Virat Kohli's photographs in Hindi? King is back. Queen is back, silver is back, gold is back. What is this? Because you want Indian money. Australia is desperate for Indian money. That is why you are doing a Hindi feed. You are doing a Hindi feed on Channel 7, which is one of the host broadcasters, because you want Indian money. So this is the economic reality. Shomik, how do you see this? I mean, the truth is, Pakistan or any country is not in a position to do anything without Indian money. Why don't you accept it and stop this posturing? Because you will have to eat humble pie. And if India throws this back to ICC today, saying, hello, the Asian Cricket Council followed this model which Pakistan claimed was theirs. Today they have moved away from it. Why? Ask the PCB. What answer will they have? Shomik.
See, without posturing, Mohsin Naqvi and company, they don't stay relevant. And I mean, they will have to. I mean, they are concerned about the YouTubers back home, social media backlash, everything. But deep down, they also know. And even when the ECB top brass visited Pakistan during the three-test series between England and Pakistan, they discussed Champions Trophy, and therein the ECB top brass categorically said, no, without India, Champions Trophy is not a possibility. So everyone knows that. I mean, without India, you cannot have any ICC event. Champions Trophy, ICC World Cup, ICC Under 19 World Cup. But at the same time, I have sympathy for Pakistan also, in the sense that, see, they have been hosting a global event for the first time since 1996. And India's presence would have been, I mean, that Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and all the Indian stars who have been who has a huge fan base in Pakistan, that would have been the real, I mean, in terms of receiving gate receipts to everything, that would have been the real jewel in the crown. But they expected to host India. But at the same time, I think deep down they know the reality. It's not that it just dawned on him yesterday or the day India wrote the letter to PCB and ICC that we are not traveling. I think they knew it all along, India not coming. But now, given that they have been boasting over it, we have been hosting the Champions Trophy, and we are the host, it will be held in Pakistan. Now they can just simply backtrack. They will have to do this kind of posturing, and then they will have to do some jugglery of the words to say our hybrid model has been accepted by the ICC.
Krisha, when Shomik says that Pakistan was hoping to host India, where is this hope coming from? India never gave anybody any hope. India never once, from any standpoint, even said we will try. All they have said is get the terrorist activities stopped across the border, let things improve, and then terror activities have been continuous from the other side of the border. Yes, Shomik, I'll come to you. But where is this hope coming from? Shomik, quickly before I go to Trisha.
No, I think the hope came from after Mr. Jaisankar visited Pakistan for the ACO meeting and had a word with Ishaq Dar, their foreign minister. They talked bilateral cricket, and Mohsin Naqvi was also present in that meeting. I think that is their hope.
But at no point did Mr. Jaishankar say a word also about India touring. So where is this hope? So if anybody goes, will you say that, the Indian External Affairs Minister has come, so I will hope that India will come? Where is this coming from? I mean, you can't just build castles in the air, Trisha.
I have no idea where is the hope coming from, because I think I'm just repeating myself, and all of us are kind of that. Either PCP does not understand, or they are just making a farce out of it, because we have also seen, Pakistan players often, might like to make comments about Indian players just to stay relevant. For example, PCB and Champions Trophy has been trending for the last I don't know, almost 24 to 30 hours, ever since they have taken this stance. And if you see comments coming from Pakistan YouTubers or Pakistani, not really media influencers, you will see all of them are saying Pakistan is taking a stand for themselves. So I have to go with Vaibhav on this. I think Pakistan is trying to use some sort of ego, because it's a joke if they think that Scotland is going to replace India. Scotland replacing Zimbabwe in an ICC trophy, understandable. Nobody is replacing India.
Gargi, Sharik Kazi, hope came when India signed a contract 2021 for Champions Trophy to be held in Pakistan. Sharik Kazi, my answer before Gargi takes over, BCCI signed the contract, not the Indian government. The Indian government at no point in time signed any contract with anybody, and it is the decision of the Indian government to say, no, you can't go. Gargi Raut, your thoughts.
I mean, this has to do completely with the political decisions at the time. This was in 2021, as you mentioned, Sharik, and BCCI cannot put their head out and say that 5 years down the line, the relations between Pakistan and India will not be good or will be good. So, if you're doing this 5 years ahead, 5 years in advance, you can't really say no to a tournament which is wholly dependent on the political tensions between the two countries. So how can BCCI go out on a limb and say no, we won't come 5 years later? So that's just something that's not very logical for BCCI to do. Imagine the kind of backlash that BCCI would have got if they had refused it at that time. So this, with all the boards, actually, the aim is to promote unity with sports. No one wants to, it's not like Indian players don't want to go and don't want to play in Pakistan. It completely has to do with the political situation, the security threats, and the tensions between the two countries. So if this all depends on the government of India and not BCCI, as simple as that.
Ishan, the point that Gargi is making, if BCCI would have said whatever in 2021, we are assuming that the border tensions would not get better. BCCI did or may have at that point in time, anyone, you and I, we would think that situation would get better. Pakistan would act on terror. Pakistan would stop terrorism. Pakistan would stop giving shelter to terrorism to terrorists across the border. The fact is, it has not happened. The fact is, it still continues. The fact is, it's still unsafe. So how on earth do you assume any of that stuff? So there is an opportunity. India has never said that if things do improve, the truth is things haven't improved. So how do you take a call? So if in such a situation, that's when this hybrid model came in. And your problem, whether PCB changes chiefs every 6 months, but a PCB chief came up with that idea. It's the same PCB which is now turning its back. So clearly, Pakistani internal politics is playing out in a manner of PCB's stance towards the hybrid model. It was Najam Sethi's model, not Mohsin Naqvi's. It is the PCB's problem, not the ICC's or the BCCI's. Ishan Shahane.
Exactly, Boria. I think you're absolutely right with all these statements. It's nothing to do with the BCCI because an opportunity was given. And if there were improvements that were made, if there were less terrorist activities that were noticed, maybe this could have been a possibility, but there's been no improvement. In fact, there's been no improvement. It's actually downgraded as well. So the question of traveling definitely does not arise. So if Pakistan comes back and, possibly hold the debate, they can't possibly hold that debate because that opportunity was given. You were told to rectify certain things in the country, make certain rectifications where India can possibly go, where a cricket can be possibly rebuilt in the country, where touring nations can come, but nothing has been done. If nothing's been done, then you can't expect a country like India to travel. So this is clearly PCB's area of fault, Boria. The BCCI can't do much over here, to be honest. We can keep discussing this, but this is something that has to be dealt with in Pakistan itself, in that PCB office, and how the ways ahead can be possibly figured out. Because sitting here, we can only do this much. At the end of the day, some decision has to be made from that particular board itself.
Vaibhav, I'll give you the last word on this particular subject before I move to Mohammad Shami, because Mohammad Shami is the burning subject today after his 4-wicket haul. We will debate Mohammad Shami, but you have the last word. What do you reckon, Vaibhav? Will Shomik's thing or Trisha what they said, 1 month later Pakistan will change its stance and say, oh, this is our model and here we are and we'll try to save face? Do you think that is the way forward for Pakistan or Champions Trophy?
I'll ask what other options they have, what alternatives they have. I don't think they have a lot of options. They can explore options, as they are saying that we are exploring options, and we are putting as much as pressure on ICC. But at the end of the day, you will see that ICC being the mediator, bringing both parties to an point of agreement, and they have to agree. They cannot lose money. See, PCB's financial status is such that they cannot afford to lose any more money. Already 3 stadiums are being renovated. They have already put a lot of money in that. So ultimately they have to accept the hybrid model. That's the way forward. I don't see things being changed. The same things which were there in the Najam Sethi's tenure, it will happen same here. It's just the political side of Mohsin Naqvi taking over. But soon we will see the PCB chairman Mohsin Naqvi speaking out and saying that this is the hybrid model that we have decided, and we have formulated a formula. Accordingly, we will run this tournament. So they will just change the words, but the hybrid model will stay.
Just a word
So the
before we
consensus
move to
from this,
Shami.
yeah,
Just because I want to make it clear for our viewers. I mean, the question that was asked about India signing the contract, I think is a fair one. But at the same time, I just give one example. 2003 World Cup was co-hosted by South Africa and Zimbabwe, and both England and Australian cricket board signed the agreement that they will participate. Then what happened? Tony Blair said, "No, we are not going to Zimbabwe because we have fallen out. We are against Robert Mugabe. England didn't go." Then Australian Prime Minister, I forgot the name, the man who succeeded Paul Keating, he also said, no, no chance we are going to, because Robert Mugabe's human rights we are absolutely against, and we are not sending our team. So then, in that case of force majeure, when the government intervenes, no agreement stands, which is signed by a respective cricket association. That's it.
fair call from Shomik, fair call, and yeah, Gargi, fair call from Shomik. So clearly, the stand that we are thinking could happen is that there will be some kind of face-saving compromise formula which will be mooted, and Pakistan will claim that this is our way of trying to save face, and this is our formula of a particular hybrid model which is different from the Najam Sethi model. This has the Mohsin Naqvi imprint on it, and that's what the way forward is, because none of us believe that there could be any ICC tournament without India. None of us believe that there is any way India will go. None of us believe that Pakistan is in a position to deny the economic reality, and that is Indian money runs world cricket. Moving on. Moving on to Mohammad Shami. I will start with Trisha. 4 wickets today, bowled about 20 odd overs. Much better compared to yesterday. You might say lower order wickets, but looked from the videos that are doing the rounds on social media, even by BCCI domestic, seems to be getting his rhythm back. More importantly, the fact that he was able to bowl 20 overs tells you he passed the fitness issue. Now he will have a chance to bowl at MP tomorrow. Bengal are 165 odd for 5. So tomorrow Shami will bowl. This is a match that will have outright decision. So clearly he will have a second innings. Trisha Ghoshal and all my panelists, if he bowls another 15 overs tomorrow, the fact is there are no Ranji Trophy games after this. There's Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy, which is 4 overs. You don't get ready for Test match cricket by bowling 4 overs. Is there a reason or is there logic in sending Mohammad Shami to Australia, saying go play that day-nighter game in Adelaide 2 days, Prime Minister 11 or whatever it is, get ready for the Test series, because now you've proved your fitness. By playing Syed Mushtaq Ali, there's nothing that you can do. Go to Australia. If you are ready, we will blood you in the Adelaide day-night Test match. If not, then in Brisbane. Trisha Ghoshal, where do you stand on Mohammad Shami?
I completely agree with this. Mohammad Shami looks in very good shape, and we know how well he can bowl with that new cherry. Uh, India's pace bowling attack is definitely looking a little undercooked, in the sense a little raw. So since Mohammad Shami has proved his fitness again, if Mohammad Shami gets to bowl tomorrow, which it is very likely, you also get to know that recovery process, whether he has recovered enough after bowling 19 overs to bowl another stretch of 15, 16 or 20 overs. And then to keep checking that, you have to send him to Australia, because as you rightly said, T20 cricket, it's very difficult. And we also have to remember that in Shahid Mustaq Ali, it's not like he's going to bowl 4 overs at a stretch. He'll bowl 2 overs, he'll get rest, then 2 overs. So that does not help in checking whether that endurance, that fitness is absolutely 100% or not. That is where I think it's of prime importance that after the Ranji Trophy, he's straight up sent to Australia, and he plays the warm up game, and he plays that President's 11 game, so that we can actually see how much is he prepared, even if not for the first Test match, for the second Test match, because we will definitely need his services. Right now, I think looking at the Indian squad, the pace bowling attack looks raw, and Jasprit Bumrah would actually cherish Mohammad Shami's help.
Shami Chakraborty, before I go to Gargi and all my panelists, Mohammad Shami straight away after this match, if he bowls another 15-20 overs, like Trisha said, after the first innings, body holding up, do you put him on a flight and say, go, bowl to the Indians at the nets, get prepared, play the day-nighter in Adelaide if you're fit enough, because day-night test, Mohammad Shami, moving ball, is a juicy proposition to help out Jasprit Bumrah. You've got a 2-day game, remember, you've got a 2-day game ahead of the day-night test, where Mohammad Shami can bowl another 20-25 overs, far better than bowling 4 overs in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy. Shami Chakraborty.
This is a piece of news we are going to give our readers. What our sources have told us, that if Shami remains problem-free in the second innings after bowling in the second innings, and if he doesn't any post-game issues or pain, and if it is a go-ahead from Nitin Patel, Shami is going to Adelaide. He will participate in that practice game, and he will be available for the second test. That is a decision. The selectors are of the view that he should be sent if his body is holding up, but final call will come from Nitin Patel. If he says yes, Shami is going to Adelaide to play the practice game, pink ball practice game, followed by the test match.
Gargi Raut, where do you stand on this is good, interesting news point, Shomik. You must write this piece also. Yeah, Shomik, finish it.
And when it happens, you will get to know on Rep Sports first, that we can assure you.
Gargi?
Gargi, as usual.
Gargi, फिर join करो दोबारा, mute. Okay, Vaibhav, take it.
See, totally depends. If he's pain-free, Shami has always been a rhythm bowler. If he's pain-free, he's not feeling any discomfort while bowling a lot of overs like he did. Like he bowled 10 overs, if I'm not wrong, he bowled 10 overs yesterday for Bengal, the most for the day. And today he finished with 4 wickets. And he has bowled a lot of overs. It totally depends on how he fares in the second innings. I think a call will be taken, like Shamik Das said, a call will be taken after that once the second innings is done. And if he's pain-free, if he's fit, then definitely he must go to Canberra. He must join the team there. He must play the Prime Minister 11, because there's a 2-day, as we are speaking about, there's a 2-day ping ball practice game before the Adelaide Test. So I think if he's pain-free, definitely he must travel to Canberra and play that game, so that he can be prepared for the Adelaide Test.
Ishan, where do you stand before I go to Gargi?
I completely agree, Borja. I think with all of them, I think if Mohammad Shami is pain-free, if he's fit, there's no better option than to send him. We've been speaking about how this Indian bowling lineup has not been, probably at his best a bit too over dependent on Bumrah. So to erase that, or not erase, or just to compensate that problem a bit, I think Shami has been the best solution. Against Australia, we're anyway possibly on the back foot at the moment. If you want to strengthen that bowling lineup, get Shami in there as fast as possible. Get him used to the conditions as fast as possible. That is equally important. And maybe not even play him in the first test. You don't want to rush him through any process. It's a long series. He can possibly play the second test, in my opinion. But Shami, in my opinion, has to be the Burada. He's surely got that X factor. Mohammad Siraj, Akashdeep are good. They're definitely good, but Shami has the experience. Shami is more threatening with a new ball, and he knows how to bowl in these Australian conditions. So he'll definitely have that X factor and be the impact player.
Gargi?
Yeah, I think everyone's pretty much summed it up, but I agree with everyone that Mohammad Shami needs to be in the Indian bowling lineup because, the experience that Mohammad Shami brings is sort of irreplaceable at this point and something you don't get often or you get rarely. And like Ishan said, there's a bit of over dependence on Jasprit Bumrah, and you need someone who's going to bowl those tight overs from the other end and put a lot of pressure on the opposition, which I think is somewhere India has been lacking in the past few tests that we have seen. There's been a lot more departments that India has been lacking, but when it comes to Mohammad Shami, yes, if he's pain free, if he's 100% fit, only if he's 100% fit, I will play him.
Okay. So that's the Mohammad Shami bit. We will continue to monitor Mohammad Shami very closely from Indore. We are continuously in touch with the Bengal management. I've spoken to the president of CAB. Shomik and Rohan were with me day before. So we will get updates from the CAB also how Mohammad Shami is feeling, because Snehashish was very clear. He was continuously in touch with Mohammad Shami on behalf of the Cricket Association of Bengal. So every bit of news on Mohammad Shami you will continue to get. Let me take some questions. Vaibhavi Dua. Shomik Chakraborty, any update on Rohit availability in Perth? Perth is out of the equation as far as I am concerned. Adelaide still in, but Adelaide is kind of there. But Perth definitely not really happening as far as Rohit is concerned. I don't think Perth is a realistic assessment anymore. Shomik.
Yeah, absolutely, because he no longer has the preparation time for Perth. I mean, just going there and getting into the test match, it doesn't happen. He needs to prepare. I mean, he has been preparing here in Bombay, but it's a different ball game on Australian pitches, and he needs the right preparation time. Perth is out of the equation. Let's see, there is a 9-day gap between first test and second test. It will depend how things. I mean, see, this is a family thing, and this is a very personal reason. So, and this is such a delicate thing. You cannot predict anything. What is out of the equation, and rest we will see.
Yeah, I mean, our update is Perth is certainly not happening. We can say that. Whether he will be in Adelaide, we've got to wait by the day, monitor and follow close developments, and then be able to. Yes, he's getting prepared in Mumbai, but that doesn't mean anything as far as us is concerned. Mumbai preparation is not the same as Perth preparation. Priyanshu, Trishadi, after France, USA, Boxing Day, Australia bhi jao.
वो तो जाएंगे, वो तो obviously I'll be going, but
and Trisha's visa is also done now, so Trisha is 100% going. So that
visa accurate, everything done, so I'm 100% going.
Mahendra Singh Gambhir, it's just some emojis, so there's nothing there. Who would keep wickets if Jurel also plays in Perth? He's an excellent keeper. Fit monk. Vaibhav, take that.
Yeah, he's an excellent keeper, but if I have to pick between Rishabh Pant and Dhruv Jurel, then I'll see who is the better fielder. Then Dhruv Jurel is far better fielder than Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant, whenever I have seen him on the field in T20s when MS Dhoni was there, he was not up to the mark as a fielder. And Dhruv Jurel is an excellent fielder. I have seen him for RR as well, and he has fielded as a substitute fielder in the Bangladesh series as well. He was there. So I think it's more about who is a better fielder, because as far as wicket keepers are concerned, Rishabh Pant is going to be a keeping option. Even if KL Rahul is also an option. KL Rahul was keeping the wicket some time back, but you cannot ask when Pant is fit, you cannot ask anyone else to keep the wickets, and it's more about who is the better fielder. So KL and Dhruv Jurel both are better fielders than Pant.
Who wants to take that? Yeah.
No,
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, can I take a point on that, Rishabh Pant and Jurel? Yeah, the point that I wanted to make is also when you are playing against teams like Australia, you want someone chirpy behind the wicket, and that is something that Rishabh Pant can really get. He can get in the nerves of the batters, and that I think is also pretty important. So, Jurel, sure, but then nobody. Jurel is young, he's junior, whereas Pant talks non-stop. At times, he probably gets to the nerves of our own players, but he's very good at being that chirpy wicket keeper, which every batter gets irritated about. So I think that is also somewhere where Pant scores a little above Dhruv Jurel when it comes to keeping.
Ishan, someone's asking Mother Major's diary, not just for keeping. Can we expect him at 6? I actually see Dhruv Jurel and Rishabh Pant, of course, both of them
Yeah.
in the lineup. Rishabh Pant is our go-to man. He's our best red ball batter. He's your go-to man in red ball cricket for the last 4 years. However much we say Rohit and Virat and whoever. So Rishabh Pant, of course, but Dhruv Jurel basis the tour games, we do see him in the middle order. At least I do. Where do you stand on this?
Yeah, surely, Boryada. I've been saying since the beginning, I was actually saying Sarfaraz, but after those two innings from Dhruv Jurel, I think he's really stood out. And when you're in Australia playing those warm-up games, if you score two scores which are above 50, there's a definite chance that you have to be in the side. So Dhruv Jurel will play in the number 6 position. Hopefully, he's riding on a good flow of momentum, which will be used in that first Test match, which I feel will be extremely beneficial. And he's looked technically sound, Boryada. If you've seen that first game as well, that warm-up game, most of the batters are struggling, but I think the thing that stood out most about Dhruv Jurel was the amount of time he had in those Australian pitches. The most of the other batters were being rushed, but he seemed like he had all the time in the world. And I think that's the biggest quality you need when you're playing in Australia against Mitch Starc, against Josh Hazelwood. So I think Dhruv Jurel, number 6, looking good at the moment.
Can you take this one from Annie? Hi guys, would you play Mukesh over Siraj? I don't think Mukesh is there he's there in the traveling reserves, but not there in the team. So would it be Akashdeep? Because clearly, where's your call on this, Gargi? Do you go with Jasprit Bumrah, Akashdeep, and a tall fast bowler hit the deck like a Prasidh Krishna? Do you go with Siraj? Because Siraj in foreign conditions has always delivered for India. How do you kind of go with your fast bowlers on this, Gargi round?
This is tricky because it's not like you have bad bowlers. You've got equally good bowlers, but you have to think of the implementation and the execution is something where we have been lacking in the recent past. But I think I would go for Siraj because we've seen that he has a proven track record of performing in Australia. We've seen him do well, and I don't know. It's just a personal preference maybe, but I would go with Siraj.
Shomik, is it a call between Akashdeep and Siraj? Or is it a call between Akashdeep, Siraj, and Prasidh Krishna, 2 out of 3?
On the face of it, it is a call between Akashdeep, Prasidh Krishna, and Siraj, but I think Bumrah will be accompanied by Siraj and Akashdeep in the first test. And logically, India should play Nitish Kumar Reddy as the fourth seamer because that will add a little bit of meat to the lower order. Given that Indian batting is short on confidence after the New Zealand series, they need that extra cushion lower down the order. And Nitish Kumar Reddy, if he can chip in with a few overs, if he can take a wicket or two, he can give some rest to our frontline fast bowlers, that would be good enough a contribution. So from that point of view, if I'm not a selector, but from a distance, I think Bumrah, Siraj, Akashdeep, at least in the first test, accompanied by Nitish Kumar Reddy, should be our pace attack.
Trisha, Rakshit, even though Perth is considered as fast and bouncy, fact that Nathan Lyon is the highest wicket taker since 2018. But the fact is, the curator Perth from 2018 to 2022 is a different Perth now for the last couple of years again. Last year, Pakistan 90 all out or something like that. So different Perth. You can't just say history Nathan Lyon. Your thoughts on that? This will be spicy, juicy, bouncy based on what the curator has already spoken about. Trisha.
Exactly, and that's why in the first test, why not go with Prashid Krishna? Because it will be bouncy and with the tall pacer like Prasidh Krishna, I think it will help India. And going to the pitch, yes, I think in between the Perth pitch had become a little spin friendly, a little less spicy, but it promises to be that stinker of a wicket. And that will make that test very interesting, and that is where I think the pace bowling also needs to be a little more beefed up, if I'm not wrong. Um, and answering this question, I think stats, when you look at stats, always look at the history of against which teams, when was this, if it was between 2018 to now, then the things have been different. So all these need to be taken under consideration before we decide on Nathan Lyon. Of course, Nathan Lyon is a fantastic bowler, but I do think that the recent Perth pitch will be way more pace friendly than it has been.
Surajit Ghosh, somebody talk about Geo-Star merger, but this is a sports show. This has nothing to do with Geo-Star merger. If you want to know about Geo-Star merger, read about it in Economic Times or some business forum. I mean, how do you want us to talk about Geo-Star merger and why? I mean, give us one reason why we should talk about Geo-Star merger. I don't see any reason, nor do we know. So that's the last round of questions. This is a tough question, and I think it's a wrong one. Rahul Avasti, I believe Rohit should not play in the remaining games of the series if he's unwilling to play in the first two. He should know that his career is at stake. Shami Chakraborty, having known Rohit Sharma, what he told me in 2021, and I said, you're going into the Sydney Test match with just 2 days because he was in hard quarantine for 14 days. And he and I would call each other and count 1, 2, 3 like that every quarantine day. And I said, are you not scared? And he said, what do you mean scared? It's my career. Then opportunity to play for India, I will put anything on the line and play. If I fail, I fail. That's Rohit Sharma. I don't think Rohit Sharma will even think that his career is at stake when there is an opportunity to lead India. Shomit Chakraborty.
It's preposterous to think that Rohit Sharma is thinking that way because, I mean, top performers don't think that way. They don't allow negativity to creep in. The day they will allow negativity to creep in, their career is done. They don't do that. So Rohit Sharma is not going because it's a very, very personal reason. It's a very valid reason. It's a family thing. In 2021, Virat also came back after the first test. So this is, I mean, you, and once again, as you wrote in the column, this is personal choice. Like Sani Bhai saw the face of Rohan after 4 months. He was touring the Caribbean. He came back and he saw the face of Rohan after 4 months. Sora was in South Africa when Sana was born, Dhoni. But it's a very, very personal thing. And those days, there is no concept of a paternity leave. Now, society has evolved and it's different. And it's a very, very personal choice. We are nobody to question that. Rohit is entitled to his choice. And Rohit, and if anybody is suggesting that Rohit is chickening out, that would be the biggest, I mean, that would be the biggest idiocy in terms of assessing a player of Rohit or uh, any top grade professional for that matter.
Rahul, the fact of the matter is, do you agree he played in the last BGT without preparation? What he did in the last BGT was he went to Australia. He had to face 14 days hard quarantine, joined the Indian team from Melbourne and Sydney on the 30th of December, if I remember right, and then played the fourth test match in Sydney from 3rd Jan. That's what he did, third test match, and thereafter played the last one. So that's what he did because those were COVID times. So the conditions and context is very different, and I don't think it's the same. If he does play the second test, I'm pretty sure if he does play, he will want to play the 2 day game also. And knowing Rohit Sharma, he will never want to go into a test match half baked. Ultimately, he's the captain of India and one of the greatest that we've seen. It's as simple as that. I think closing comments. Closing comments. We've dealt with Shami. We've dealt with Pakistan. We will keep a close eye on both. How does Pakistan kind of deal with this Champions Trophy situation? What does ICC do? If BCCI, I don't think BCCI has to do anything at this point. And how does Mohammad Shami shape up for the Australia series? Finally, why do you think, Gargi Rao, this thing was spread? All of a sudden, we are told India is practicing closed door. This is a closed door practice. India is making a big hue and cry. And then we get to know India has never said a word about the media not covering practice. Why would the Australian media jump the gun, putting ladders and photographs and everything before the myth was finally busted that India has not stopped anyone? Why would you want to do this and sensationalize? Gargi Rao.
One answer, because they're the Australian media. What other answer do you have? And this is something that has always happened. And honestly, this makes the series more fun. It just adds a lot of spice to it. You sometimes you need the public to take interest in the, not even the public and the media facilitates the entry of the public through all of this, because you sort of spice things up and excite the fans, but at the same time you have to make sure that there's no irresponsible reporting that sensationalizes things for no reason at all. But I love all this build up. I love that there's so much mirch masala in this series already, that there's Australian media is so obsessed with India. Cover your own practice sessions and tell us about that. Why are this
so to close out some other news, badminton, Tan Kim Her almost finalized as far as Satwik Chirag's coach. Tan Kim Her was contacted by the Badminton Association of India soon after the Paris Olympic Games was over. The deal has almost been done. I still use the word almost because it's not been signed. The contract has been sent. The contract has been sent to Tan Kim Her. He's yet to accept it, or rather sign it. Acceptance, yes, signing. So that is why I'm saying almost likely, almost done, etc., etc. That is number one as far as badminton is concerned. I expect and I hope to see Satwik and Chirag back next week in China. So I'm desperate to watch them back next week in China. They are making a comeback. Also, among other things in badminton, the other news that I'm hearing is this whole concept of individual coaches might no longer be the case a month down the line. I think there will be a singles coach, a doubles coach, but this whole concept, everybody has his own individual coach, might just not be the case going forward. There is a structural revamp being planned by the Badminton Association of India as we speak. So over the next couple of weeks, we will get to know more on this. So that's the, and HS Pranoy. HS Pranoy, after a really bad bout of chikungunya, from what I know, will start to play from January. Can't wait to see him back. Finally, to our auction, somebody saying do a mock auction. We will not just do a random mock auction. We will do something very special. So watch our space. We will tell you more about a mock auction very, very soon. So something that's going to happen in this space very, very soon. Keep watching the space. Watch our special series, Auction Tales with Richard Madley. We've started building up on the teams. Today we focused on KKR. Tomorrow we are focusing on the Mumbai Indians. What could their auction strategy be? How are the Mumbai Indians shaping up? So every team will be dealt with in detail. Also, finally, Devashish Sen and Rohit Juglan leave for Australia today. Shubhan Chakraborty will join them day after, and then multiple people will join them in December. And Ishan Shahane will be in Jeddah for the IPL auction. So people everywhere covering from on ground, so that we can build up to a mega auction and a mega Border Gavaskar trophy. Close to an hour. Time to thank my guests, Vaibhav Tripathi, Trisha Ghoshal, Shomik Chakraborty, Gargi Rao, Ishan Shahane. To all my viewers who've been watching, thank you very much for joining.